Morning, and thank you for joining us in this edition of today's topical discussion as we delve into the reality about national politics ahead of 2026. There is a semblance of some bit of heat and momentum building up, but what is beneath all this? And the irony that exists today that the opposition is doing what you would call cannibalism. In the wake of the award or the selection of candidates for the different positions and local levels in the National Interplatform, we've seen a wave, an exodus of members of the National Interplatform now joining the PFF, while at the same time the Democratic Front is also opening up to defectors from the National Interplatform. How healthy or unhealthy is this trend? You can't say it's new. It started with back in the day when the Forum for Democratic Change was formed, and we saw an exodus from the Democratic Party to the Forum for Democratic Change. Later, we saw an exodus from the FDC to the National Interplatform, and now, can we say there is a lot the country must watch as dissent grows within the leading opposition? I'm joined by Mr. Leonard Egesa, a political analyst, to share his views. Very good morning, sir. Nice to have you.
Morning, Simon. Pleasure to have you, to have the opportunity to come and join you here.
How are you reading politics ahead of 2026? We've just come out of the heated and controversial NRM Delegates Conference. Now the spotlight is on the National Interplatform.
My reading of the situation is that we are walking into fire. And the reason we are walking into fire is because the 2026 general election is pivotal in President Museveni's succession. Being that it is a pivotal moment in his succession, and the succession has taken, a direction that we least expected.
Succession?
Yes. His succession has concentrated in the family. So there are two factions in the family that are managing the country's politics at the moment. And that will actually form the basis of my submission when you bring up issues to do with what you are terming as cannibalism in the opposition. There's no such thing as cannibalism. What is happening is that the Museveni family is managing the politics of Uganda. So
does it have footprints in the opposition?
In both the ruling party and the opposition, now the Museveni family is firmly in charge. That's why, like they say, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, then it probably is. Yeah. So if you see, if you ask, for instance, let us say that the Honorable Matthias Mpuuga is a conviction politician. I'd want to suppose that his conviction would be on a change of government. That would ultimately translate into the removal of President Museveni from power. So why would he be so much interested in defectors from the NUP? He wouldn't. And he wouldn't actually make the NUP his center, the center of his rhetoric.
No, it's about creating a new vehicle that would usher in change.
No, Simon.
Talk about PFF, talk about several other outfits.
Simon, I do understand the intelligence landscape in this country. And I told you last night here that we have what we call gig political parties. The Democratic Front of the Honorable Mpuuga and the Ecological Party of Honorable Nsereko are some of those that I categorize as gig political parties. These guys are just doing gigs. And who is the one funding the gigs? Somebody within the Museveni family is funding the gigs. They are basically managing the opposition. You see, President Museveni in 2021 faced something that he had never faced before. I think the last time he would have faced a similar thing would have been in 1996. But you see, in 1996, he still had, the momentum that he got and the goodwill that he enjoyed because of, the successful propaganda that accompanied the Bush War in Luwero. And because of peace and tranquility in many parts of the country that had followed that Luwero War, so he was still largely popular, with the exception of northern Uganda where you had a war. President Museveni was still popular in 1996, when he faced Dr. Paul Kanga Semogere, the late.
Leonard, I want us to look at it this way. What are the key traits of this gig politics that you're talking about that are uniquely DF and Ecological Party that do not manifest?
No, the other gig parties
do not manifest in PFF, that do not manifest in the FDC, that do not manifest in the DP and the National Unity Platform.
Yeah, so I will come to the likes of the PFF. Those I called them reactionary political parties, but I did not absolve them of being under the control of the Museveni machine. Yeah? So I'm not saying that it is only the gig political parties that are under the control of Museveni's hand, or Museveni's family control. Take for instance the PFF. They are reacting to what happened. What was the event that formed?
The splinter.
What was the event? Money from? From
the allegedly.
Allegedly from the state. And the state here in Uganda has been reduced to?
Museveni.
And what did Dr. Besigye say? He said the notes came from State House. Yes, he had informers who told him that the notes, the bank notes that the Honorable Nandala Mafabi took to him to keep for him, had been traced back to State House, because Dr. Besigye said those notes left Bank of Uganda, went to State House, and then how did Honorable Nandala Mafabi end up with them, with the notes that went to State House? Of course, Honorable Mafabi claims that he had told him he got these notes from Stanbic Bank in Chambogo.
Yeah, but isn't it an irony that the parties that you're giving all manner of description are gaining traction in record time? No,
you cannot be gaining traction when you are basically serving the interest of what would be the popular opponent. If the NUP is being split, do you expect that the Honorable Mpuga's DF, for example, would be hoping that they are going to win the presidency, or they are going to win a majority in parliament because they are cannibalizing on the NUP? I would want to imagine.
Leonard, I've had a similar notion before. At the creation of the National Unity Platform, there was similar skepticism. They were branded a state outfit that had come to weaken the FDC.
No, the FDC had run its course. You see, these political parties are not founded on sound ideology. The FDC was founded as a forum for democratic change translating to removal of President Museveni from power. Now, that is bound to get stale as time goes on. So you need to keep reinventing. You see, Ugandan politicians should actually study the politics of Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has reinvented himself, has disbanded alliances, created new alliances every election cycle. He is always renewing himself. You cannot keep singing the same thing, same song every now and then, every 5 years, and you think that you will maintain the membership, as it were, and then go into the election cycle and gain numbers. No, not at all. So the NUP is what I called a political party formed by default. Why? The Honorable Bobby Wine, the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi, aka Bobby Wine, when he entered politics, so many things moved at a speed that was unexpected. So he found himself with a mass movement. He became now the center of the anti-Museveni sentiment. You see, for the last 20 to 25 years, what we've been having in Uganda is the anti-Museveni sentiment. Actually, I would say 30 years, because even in 1995, with about 8 months of campaigning, the late Dr. Paul Semogere still managed to get over 1 million votes, which means the anti-Museveni sentiment has been existing in Uganda. It took on, that sentiment was, reflected in the popularity of Alhaji Nasser Sebagala. You remember the 2001 of Haji Aragide. Then we go to 2006, Besigye at his prime. Then we move to 2011, still Besigye. So now,
2016,
2016,
yes.
Besigye was selected by the state. I'm not saying he connived with the state. Besigye was propped up, in a way, as part of a wider project to decimate the Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi. So he was an opponent selected by President Museveni's machine. They preferred,
by default.
They preferred a candidate in Dr. Besigye because Dr. Besige's weaknesses are well known when it comes to strategic organizing at elections. So they knew that this is an opponent we know how to defeat. Yeah, the Right Honorable Mbabazi was a complicated person. They did not want to see him take over the leadership of the anti-Museveni sentiment.
But then it turned out that Besigye gave Museveni a run for his money in 2016.
It is because it was designed that way. President Museveni had contested against Besigye in 2001, 2006, 2011. So after beating him 3 times, he knew what Dr. Besigye can do and what he cannot do in terms of organizing for elections. So he's an opponent. President Museveni is a military man. Military men do systems analysis. They do break down an opponent and know the strengths and weaknesses of an opponent. So they knew Dr. Besigye is an opponent that we can beat. I will take you back towards the 2016 election, go and look for the, before the nominations, go and look for the articles of Ofono Pondo. You will see that it was a campaign to prop up Dr. Besigye. And then you remember when Dr. Besigye was entering Kampala, and then people were donating money to him and all that. This was all choreographed, the handwork of the Museveni intelligence machine.
Did Besigye know that he had been propped up?
He may not have known. I cannot rule out the fact that he may not have known.
If I walked into your real move conspiracy theories about creation of opponents,
these are not. I would like to correct you.
Would it be false for me to equally claim that Bobby was propped up by the state to further weaken Besigye?
Unlike you, me, I run my own intelligence machine, so I don't deal in conspiracy theories. Okay. So I've been at this game of political strategy for some time. So I do have ways of collecting intelligence. I interact with players that are placed strategically in certain places. So when I tell you that this one was propped up, I'm not putting up a conspiracy theory. And when I tell you that Bobi Wine was captured along the way, I'm not saying that Bobi Wine entered politics to serve the interests of the Museveni family. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he came, he believed that he was on a noble cause. To try and cause change.
Was he hijacked?
He was hijacked along the way. Because you see, when you get popular in politics, there are so many things you get to learn along the way. The closer you get to the corridors of power, the more they demystify most of the things that you've been believing when you're out there on the street shouting, we're going to remove the dictator and these kind of things. So when you get there, people tell you need to sit around the table with people who can move things. You need to have, allies in the military. You need to have allies in the legislature. You need allies in the judiciary. So these are realities that Honorable Kyagulanyi faced in 2021. And the moment he got to face these, in the run-up to the election, that is the moment when he was hijacked and he started serving the interests of the President Museveni family.
So.